Okay, everybody, due to the overwhelming response of the last video, I made it kind of short and I left out some details. A lot of people are asking why I didn't comment on the Suarez Chase Elliott debacle after the race, and I simply overlooked it, didn't talk about it. Look, after the race is over, you cannot run into people. That's my opinion. You can have your own opinion. I just feel like you can't run into a guy after the race. Now, I'm not going to critique he ran into the back of him and, his little displeasure. I think there's a difference between hitting a guy and running him into the wall with their window net down and his hand out the window. So, is there a difference? Yeah. Do I think either one should be penalized? That's a tough call. That's why I don't run NASCAR, and they do that, because those are difficult calls to make. There's all kinds of things that go into it. I get you can't penalize one guy without penalizing the other, but that's just the way it is. I watched the guys go down into the corner, and I will say that Chase Elliott used up Daniel Suarez quite a bit. Now, I don't know if he was wheel hopping, but he was hitting him and all over him. I don't think that was on purpose, but at that point, what do? You shove the guy out of the way. You got to still go. There's people coming behind you. And Suarez just said, "You're not doing that to me," and spun him out. An eye for an eye. No blame there at all. I mean, they did what they did. Obviously, Chase came back and hit him after the race. Again, my opinion is, race is over. Guys are loosening their belts up. Shit can happen. Shouldn't be doing it. So that's just the way it is. The other thing is Joey Logano drove Hailee Deegan's car on Saturday. A lot of people asking about that. What are my thoughts? Look, you take a driver with his experience. I'm not going to put myself in that situation, but I think I could run, better in that car just because you've been there and done that. You got more experience. Hailee Deegan, she's got a decent amount of seat time, but still, you got to gain that confidence. You got to have those good runs, and you got to be able to build on them. And when the car gets off a little bit, the team doesn't know, or you're not getting the results you want. The team doesn't know, is it the car, is it the driver, is it the feedback? And I'm a firm believer of this. I could talk about this for days. There's drivers that you set the car up perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And you take this driver that's a 20th place driver and put him in there, he'll run good. You can also take that driver that set that car up and put him in that 20th place car, and he'll make that car better because he knows his ass is the computer. That's the way I did it forever. He's able to relay that to the team. Nowadays, it's a lot different with all the simulation and computers and all that stuff, but still, the driver has to be able to communicate what they're feeling and what they need fixed. And in order to do that, you got to have the proper corner entry, the proper trail brake, all those things. It all combines into making that the perfect mousetrap. And so there's different ways of getting at it. But when I raced, I clearly thought that there's drivers that are running 20th that if you put them in Jimmy Johnson's car, they'll run in the top 8. And, but they're not capable of getting that car, making the proper adjustments to get it to that level. I hope that makes sense, but that's just, again, my opinion. I've seen it, I've watched it, and I think Alex Bowman is maybe a good example of that. I'm certainly not throwing stones at him, but I remember him when he was running cars that weren't as good as they should have been, and running in the back of the pack. I remember that. And now he's winning races, and he's got his confidence, and he knows how the car needs to feel in order to win. And those two things come with experience and seat time. And some drivers will get it, some won't. Will Hailee Deegan get it? I can't answer that question. It's only a matter of time to see, but you got to build on your good days. And when the car drove good, you got to lock that feeling in and be able to tell the team next time. One other thing I wanted to talk about, and I forgot about, is the job that Joey Hand did. Unbelievable what this guy did. It's very difficult to come into these cars without a ton of experience. I don't know if you've seen that track before. I can't remember if he ran last year, but he did a fantastic job leading that race. I was pulling for him, but still ended up in the top 5. I think a 4th place finish in the Roush Fenway car. I thought he did a fantastic job. Hats off to him. Joey Hand, great drive.